With the vampire epic The Last Voyage of the Demeter finally opening this weekend after being in development for over a decade, I thought we could take a look at another vampire epic. Well, not so much of an epic as it is a TV show for children. But today we're going to look at the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, The Tale of the Midnight Madness. The opening to this show is still to this day very effective and creepy, really setting the tone for what's to come. These kids better watch out though, because it looks like Jason Voorhees is stalking them. Somehow these children got movie passes to a triple feature horror marathon called Fright Night, and they're in a rush to get through their spooky little stories.
Because you sit in that movie theater for so long, you start to forget that the real world even exists.
Relax, kiddo, it's just a few horror movies, it's not that serious. For some reason, the others give him the floor to tell a story, and I'm already not looking forward to it. This theater only seems to show movies made in the 1930s, which is probably why it only has one person watching. I mean, this lady looks like she probably starred in the film.
Oh, enjoyed the film, ma'am?
Well, she seemed to just seconds ago when she was clapping, unless she was clapping because it was finally over. Business is in the dumps, and again, I think it has more to do with the choice in films and not so much people not wanting to go to the theater.
$6? That's it?
1 popcorn, 2 sodas.
Damn, that's around $20 now, or even more depending where you're from. The balding manager here seems to think it's his employees' fault for why business is so slow, and he seems incapable of doing just about anything without their help. The heroes of this tale are young Katie here and Pete Matt. Yes, he has 2 first names for whatever reason.
But I'm applying for a job over at the Quad.
The Quad, that's a multiplex.
How dare she want to work at a theater that actually has paying customers? I don't know why Pete is so worried about this place closing down anyways, it's not like he owns it. Not only is the theater on the brink of shutting down, Pete also strikes out when he asks Katie out for dinner.
Well, I went to the zoning commission to try to get landmark status. It's not going to be easy.
Why is this kid going through all this work to try and save this place when the owners themselves aren't even going to do it? I'll laugh if he saves the theater and then the owners fire him because they actually wanted to sell it off. But what's this shadowy figure lumbering up the steps? Whoever it is, they sure as hell want inside.
Who are you?
Vink's the name.
Those are some really yellow teeth. This weirdo is Dr. Vink, and he's come because of some flyers Pete's been putting up around town trying to save the theater. He claims to be a director that made films way back before movies even had sound, which is fake news because the actor was born in 1934 and silent films stopped around 1929. I mean, unless this guy is some kind of vampire or something. He has a film of his that he directed, a vampire film specifically, and he claims that if they show his movie, people will flock to see it.
A black and white silent film is gonna turn this place around. That ain't a vampire movie, that's a fairy tale.
I don't know why Baldy is arguing with the man. He was already showing movies from the 1930s, so what's one more decade back? All Dr. Vink wants is if the film is a success, that he be given 1 night a week to show more of his films to the audience. And what could possibly go wrong? They make the deal, but just like Batman, Dr. Vink simply vanishes.
I just got the word. We close in 2 weeks.
Well, looks like it's too late for the theater, but just what the hell is going on with that movie? A problem with the projector causes the film to burn, and as someone who has several projectors and many film reels, that's a pain in the ass to clean up. The patrons become annoyed at technical difficulties, but before they can leave, they're promised another brand new movie if they just stick around.
This better be good, young lady. My time is valuable.
This lady has 1 foot in the grave already. I don't know how much value is left at this point. Oh hell yeah, now we're talking. Some classic Nosferatu.
I was chilling. I was so scared. I was at the edge of...
So good, I'll probably have nightmares for a week.
Now, I don't know if you'd have some nightmares after watching Nosferatu, but there's still some pretty damn creepy imagery in it. The movie appeared to be a big hit, which should come as no surprise, because horror is the only genre which has always remained consistently popular over the years.
They loved it. No one wanted a refund.
I love that not giving out refunds is what's considered a successful night. Still nothing suspicious about that haunted film canister though. And where the hell did they get that popcorn? They didn't have it at the beginning of the episode. This isn't exactly how I remember the ending to Nosferatu, but we'll go with it. Also, is this old woman at every damn showing of this movie?
You know, we clean up and everything. You know, you and I could...
Evening, lad.
Blocked by Dr. Vink. Dr. Vink stopped by to see how things were going with his film and to make sure no premarital shenanigans were going on. The manager comes in all happy and shaking hands, but doesn't want to stick to the arrangement they originally agreed upon, because the theater is now getting grade A movies and no longer has any room for old horror films.
One shouldn't make a bargain if they can't honor their commitments.
Seeing how this guy can just vanish and make doors close by themselves, I'm not so sure pissing him off was the right move. Pete decides to study just why this movie seems to be bringing in the crowds, but look at him, typical teenager. Unless it's non-stop loud noises, he finds it boring. I don't quite remember this part in the movie, but it seems like it was all just in Pete's head. No way a vampire just came out of the screen. Looks like some Karen needs to speak to the manager though.
Kind of like you too.
Oh man, Pete just cannot catch a break. But the two teens run to the manager to see what that girly scream was all about.
Oh man. Gross.
I'll get an ambulance.
Don't call an ambulance, call the FBI. They're much more capable for handling these kinds of things. But wouldn't you know it, the phone is dead. They tried leaving through the front doors, but they're locked. So it looks like our two teens are trapped. Oh, I guess it wasn't locked at all. Nosferatu was just using his spooky vampire powers to keep the doors from opening. He even uses his powers to open the door to where the kids are hiding. But I didn't know vampires had telekinesis.
Okay, maybe I'm crazy, but I think I saw that vampire come out of the film.
He tells Katie to set up the final reel to the movie because he has a plan. A stupid one, but a plan nonetheless. Nossie is about to attack Pete when he decides he's more interested in Katie. I think Nosferatu may be getting set up by Chris Hansen.
And do you know how old Bailey is?
She's 14.
14. Mm-hmm.
Now this is a kid's show, right? Because this is terrifying. Bleh, how dare you put on my movie? Turning the film on compels Nosferatu to return to the screen, maybe because he has to finish it? I have no idea. Pete then walks right inside the screen, entering the movie itself, which is kind of awesome.
Hurry, he's coming!
Any day, Nosferatu, we're not getting any younger. Oh, now you're screwed, Pete. We all know how this one ends because as we saw earlier, Nosferatu doesn't die. Bleh, sunlight, my only weakness, how did you know? It's a good thing there's like a million ways to kill a vampire, and I'm not gonna lie, but this is a pretty good effect. Damn, I was hoping the manager wasn't gonna come back, but I guess because it's for children, he has to.
I've just purchased this theater.
You what?
Well, they no longer need to worry about the theater closing because Dr. Vink just straight up bought it. And if the rest of his movies are as interactive as that one, just imagine the possibilities. The Tale of the Midnight Madness is a really fun episode. Yes, this is a show aimed at kids, but it doesn't dumb down the scares. It still treats the threat as an actual threat. Nosferatu does actually kill in the episode, and he looks creepy as hell. I would love to know why modern writers and showrunners need to make things so kid-friendly these days. Kids aren't stupid and don't get the credit they deserve. If you have children or have nieces and nephews, this is a good gateway into horror. It's just spooky enough and you don't have to worry about any real violence or adult situations. The episode was written and directed by DJ MACHALE, the series creator. This, along with the rebooted series, seemed to be his one big claim to fame, which I would think anyone trying to make it in the industry would love to have a hit show like this under their belt. This episode is also his personal favorite of the entire series. Dr. Vink's film, while called Nosferatu, is only similar in appearance. While he's called Nosferatu in the show, in the actual film his name is Count Orlok, which they changed when adapting the book Dracula to avoid any kind of legal ramifications, which they still ran into anyways. And spoilers for a movie that is now over 100 years old, but Nosferatu does die at the end of the real film. It is nice that Nosferatu could take time out of his busy schedule at Bikini Bottom to be in this episode though.
Nosferatu!
This is the last episode in the series where it shifts halfway through back to the Midnight Society telling the story. From here on out, there's a little narration here and there, but it's kept very brief to help with the flow of the show. None of the actors in this episode really had any kind of career. I mean, the girl that played Katie has this as her only acting credit, period. Eddie Robinson that played Pete did some bit work here and there, but nothing much. Aaron Taggart, who played Dr. Vink, was the most seasoned of all the actors, but even he just seemed to play small character roles. He does return in 5 other episodes from the series, with 4 of them being the same character. Like I said earlier, if you have little ones and they want to watch something scary, you really can't go wrong with this. It starts a little slow, but once Nosferatu emerges, it picks right up. And with the spooky season just around the corner, now is a perfect time to start making a list of things to watch. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe if you'd like more videos like this one, and throw some holy water at that like button. Thank you all for watching, and take care.